Chinese food.
All fake. Just chemicals coming from the atomizer. Cheap to make! It's all the future. Mark of the Beast is the beginning. Mark of the Beast has already been done somewhere out in Europe. They're putting chips in people's bodies and pacemakers in their hearts. And they're even putting TVs where their eyes go. To me, that's cybernetics, not biometrics, and it's done. We need to publish this. We need to strengthen this. We need to armor our bodies and make them shield it against outer space so we can get off this planet and go travel to where there is more resources and new types of periodic resources so that we can build new things and get to know new races instead of doing the same thing over and over, fighting with each other every day. Because we can't even get everybody on the same network. Everybody's on a different network, doing their own thing. And they all fight with each other because they don't even know what's going on. We think this, you think that. And that's the only thing happening. You got like 20 different religions. You got like thousands of different governments. Computers can fix all that. You think I'm a jokester, you think I'm retarded. I'm serious. I don't see it happening fast enough. And if I were to talk to Trump about that, or the Pentagon, or the CIA, I wouldn't respect them at all for what they do. Especially for the way they treat me. And based on my potential. I've never seen anything that great come from them. Best thing I've seen so far comes from Japan.
Dr. Passerelle, please call 2278. Dr. Passerelle, please call 2278.
Dr. Passerelle was my doctor. Japan, organic LEDs. I think that's one of the best inventions we've had so far. A display that can last in sunlight and be transparent. Why don't we triangulate our microphones? We don't need to always use GPS. GPS is slower than microphones. Why don't we have not just one or two cameras on our system all day that are off, but one or two to 100 cameras on our systems all day that are on to pick up our bodies and our environments? What is our problem sharing this information with everyone else? I don't care about your security. I don't care about the result of that. Because if you cared about God, what would you have to say in reality? And then you would come back and say something probably related to God. And probably feel a little bit with Satan. Well, if you want God, God is awareness. God knows all. Put cameras everywhere. There should be no fear of that. If it doesn't work and some people become more in control, it will equal out. Because they will be on TV too. The natural response to cameras being everywhere, and I'm talking about everywhere, that there can be detected light on a surface on this planet, in and outside of buildings, in and outside of every possible cave, hiding place, and nook, and on people's bodies themselves, things will adjust. People will save the day, where other people are getting bombarded by information being incorrect, or too true, or wrong, or disagreed with. Whatever information the cameras will pick up and make people do different things to each other, bad or good, will get equalized by everyone's decisions at once. That's what will happen if cameras are on everybody's bodies, and there is a database that records all of the information. All of the information in the database is related to each other in a perfect manner, not skipped around, not hidden. We need to find a way to use our technology to be with us and to be an extension of us. The Terminator is a joke. It was the stupidest movie I've ever seen in my life. The computers rising up on their own as if they grow from the ground. We created the computer. That's not even possible. If there's some sort of extension that gets truncated between computers being able to exist or not, they will stop at that point. If we manufacture the computers and they're trying to manufacture, how did that happen? Robots picked them up. Oh, I just don't see it happening. iRobot, same deal. Dumb movies to scare us. Those movies are what are called resistors, to allow technology's rate of expansion to slow down so that corporations can have the time to do what they need to do with technology and not rush it too fast. That's what I think. I might be wrong. And ideas are just ideas. They're not truth. Labels are labels. They're not truth. So anything that I've said is just something that is a mirror of something that I've experienced. So if you want to judge me, talk about me, and argue with me, you might as well do that on your own. Because I don't necessarily believe in anything I said on this recording, because it's just something that's a mirror effect that happens through my brain. The words that I've said in this, in other words, the words that I've said in this entire recording could be completely false, based on true information, proven by anyone else. The future I see of organic LEDs or glasses, they would be meant for the eyes, and not just the eyes. They would be meant for any place that you could see that in between you would want to have a computer display information. That's what an organic LED is. It is a list of diodes that are small enough to create an image in space. And it doesn't even have to be square. It can be rectangle, curved, which kind of produces a trapezoid image looking way. Could be spherical. I was thinking spherical would be cool. That's really how I would like my OLED, to be a spherical thing. Like a ball of crystals. Because LEDs are crystals. Silicon. I don't know what Samsung makes them out of. Might be germanium or something. Maybe that's what Intel uses. But the main thing I like about OLEDs is something that I've told to many people that they don't agree with. Many of them don't agree with it. If you cut off somebody's vision, then they are restricted on the vision sense. If you cut off their hearing and their vision and leave them with their breath, their taste, and their smell, say it's a dog, for example, you leave them in that condition, will they make it down the street very well? If they can't hear and they can't see? They could by their smell. But now what happens when you block their smell and their taste, but you let them breathe? And their smell and taste is quite limited. And you've also got their eyes and their ears blocked. Now a lot of people stop you there and say, well, why would you do that to an animal? Okay, so why have we done a lot of things to rats, is my answer. The answer is, if you put that type of restriction on an animal, and then the restriction for the eyes being an OLED with one layer of the display behind the OLED being a restrictor of light completely, so that you can turn the light down to off to restrict the light, you could unrestrict the light, modify the data that comes through the OLED, and use computer data to guide the dog to do what it thinks would be right with its brain to do with what data it sees in its OLED. Now, the result of that to me means you could walk it down the street. You could show it where to go. And if it was rewarded on a regular basis by finding its house and finding a way to pee and things like that, an OLED set of glasses and a pair of earplugs or a pair of silent ear pieces that you put in a dog's ears, he could hear but wouldn't be able to hear other things, only hear the computer, and maybe a restrictor on smell and taste to stop distraction would allow a dog to be completely under visual control by a 3D or projected image environment. Because dogs, when they're born and they have a life, they have experiences that come from what happens around them. And those things that happen around them have to do with pictures and video that they pick up through their eyes. And if those pictures and video repeat, it doesn't matter if it came from an OLED or reality. They have impulses to respond to those things. And that's why an OLED put around a dog's eyes could guide it down the street. We don't use anything like that. Why not? We could put them on whales, put them on sharks. We could have sharks carrying our bombs. We could have insects doing things without making nanobots to do stuff. Nanobots are great on their own, great invention. Wow, that's cool. But we could have roaches moving things, live roaches, under the control through their antennas, or something like that. Mainly things with eyes would be related to OLED, not necessarily antennas. I don't know how antennas work. Probably through smell, or something like that. Chemicals, atomizers, things like that. But things with eyes, mainly animals that walk, donkeys, cows, horses, small animals, fast animals, like cheetahs, could run bombs into places and be better suicide animals than humans. That's not what you could use animals for. That's not what you could use OLEDs in animals for. You could use OLEDs in animals for producing a lot more animals in a spot that's more populated by humans and have the animals be doing the right thing with themselves. If they're rabid, their senses turn off, and they find themselves either lost or walking in a direction where they can't bite anything because they wouldn't see it to bite. So it's safe to leave it near a baby, a rabid animal, because it has an OLED and a restrictor on its senses. That kind of thing is real. These are my thoughts. I haven't heard them anywhere. Maybe scientists think about it all the time, but it's not happening. I think we can do it right now, with a few more prototypes, a few more inventions that I want to create when I social network people at least one location of an internet cafe.
I don't mean to sound smart or anything like that. I only have a 2-year degree. It's in information technology, networking, and my GPA was 2.93. I took apart 20 laptops and played with LCDs in the sun. That's where that whole story comes from. Every 10 a.m. in the morning, my LCD would go black and I would throw it away. And I would tear apart another laptop. It all came from spice. The drug that I smoked was really making me very violent and making me want to tear apart these laptops and play with them a new, different way. I'm just in rehab for about 11 months and I'm about to get out. And I'm going to try something new for my success. Mainly not smoking spice anymore. But there's a source for everything. Everything that exists came from somewhere. Just like we're sitting in the Milky Way galaxy right now, an alien to things that think they're aliens to us. And in Christianity, Adam lived to 750 years old. There were giants. There were dinosaurs. At one point, there wasn't anything but rock, water, and elements. I thank God for everything. I'm sorry to raise my voice. My mood gets out of control. I'm bipolar. I have autistic spectrum disorder. That's not an excuse. It's just who I am, why I sound the way I do. I just happen to believe that OLEDs alone could contribute to things like Google and Microsoft's databases and cameras, mainly cameras, OLEDs, and databases, used at like the 20th power and speed the internet up a little bit faster, like talking about the 20th power of the internet. Make the internet about a gigabit on every cell phone and get that connected to people's cameras and have that connected to a database. And if you have to use Mark of the Beast, why does it have to be inside your skin? But anyway, it has to exist that there needs to be some sort of device that reads identity that's related to being connected to the skin or being connected to the body so that it can't be changed, so there can't be identity theft. That I can see, like maybe pupil reading or something like that. I don't see why it has to be pupil reading. Well, I don't see why it has to be a Mark of the Beast. But say 7 to 10 to 15 cameras on each body, pick up the body and the environment.
Oh, here he is. Hey, Ben.
I'm busy.
Okay,
And
Dr.
then
Passerell's here.
busy talking to me.
Okay.
All right,
Well, this
whatever
is
else you're doing.
recorded. I was recording something.
Can you stop it,
What,
please?
rain?
I'm right in the middle of talking to this thing I've been talking for about 10 minutes. Oh,
And
something
you
that I was-
can't pause it.
Yeah, I can.
Great.
It doesn't really pause.
We're good.
You're good? Okay.
Thank you.